Strange but true stories. Tales from the light side, the dark side, and the other side. I'm Steve White. We are so blessed to have such wonderful fans of this channel who send us their strange but true stories. We love reading them, and we get an understanding that the world is truly wild and a magical place, and the stories run the gamut of topics. Now, the following two stories are not the wildest we've ever heard, but they speak to a mystery and wonder of the world around us. A world that goes from humdrum and regimented to, holy guacamole, what just happened? Did that thing really take place? Did anybody else see what I just saw? Or didn't see? So, no alien abductions this time around, or anything off the reservation, really. But these stories do make you wonder about some of the mysteries here on Earth that happen to us humans. So, this is my latest strange story I can tell after a lifetime of strange stories. And this happened about a year ago. Sometimes I drive Lyft. It's a nice way to get out of the house, and sometimes the money isn't bad. One night I picked up a lady at her place of employment in a part of Seattle called Queen Anne. I was to take her east to a different part of town called Capitol Hill, and then down a long road towards Lake Washington. Okay, so no problem so far, right? I pull over at the designated address. I picked her up. I gave her the usual short but polite greeting, set the app, and off we went. I would say it had been perhaps 8:30, 9 o'clock at night, and like I said, it was a year ago, late fall, early winter. About halfway to our destination, she asked if I would pull over to a gas station/convenience store. Yeah, no problem, I said, and I turned left into the establishment. I parked off to the side. I left the motor running. So she got out, walked into the market, and maybe about a minute or two later, she came out. Well, she then turns to her left to where I'm parked. She walks straight to the car, and then this is where things got strange. She stopped directly in front of my car, and of course I'm sitting there in the driver's seat. I'm looking right at her as she's staring directly at me. But she's got this strange look on her face. I don't know, like she's got a sudden storm of stress and anxiety that just hit her. Now, again, mind you, I see her looking directly at me. And then she does this abrupt about face, and she walks off, and she circles the entire gas station area. And after about 45 seconds, a minute, she makes a rough path right back to me. Now, I'm watching this whole time, and I'm thinking, what the heck is she doing? Well, she ends up right back where she started, but this time there's this look of relief on her face. And she walks over to the back passenger door. She gets in, and she says, something odd. She said, "Where did you go? Where were you? You disappeared. I thought you left me here." I turned around. I looked right at her, and I said, "I didn't go anywhere. I don't ever leave a passenger stranded anytime, no matter what. I was right here the whole time. I was staring right at you. I promise you that." Her eyes got wide, and she lifted her bottle of water to her mouth. Her hand was visibly shaking when she took the drink. She set the bottle down. She said, "I walked out of that store, and there was nobody here. There was not a car in this parking spot." So, again, according to her, the spot where I had parked was empty. Nothing. I was gone. Now, people might wonder if she was drunk or stoned, maybe hallucinating or something. But I don't think so. One, she didn't have that vibe. And two, I could kind of tell if people have had a little bit too much to drink or have been, doing some things at home before I pick them up. But, I had picked her up from her place of employment too. So, unless she's doing something weird while she's working, I just didn't get that vibe that she had been drinking or had done anything to mess with her mental abilities. So, I know that's not a guarantee of her sobriety, but you just got to trust me on this. I really don't think she was in any way affected by drink or drugs. So then, for good measure, we're just pulling out. And I asked her again, what had happened. Just tell me the story from the beginning. And I tried to keep it light, of course, because, I don't think it's really good form to grill a paying customer about anything, under any circumstances. But again, she gave me the same reply. She said, I walked out of the store, I looked right in this parking space where you had parked, and there was nobody there. You were gone. That stall was empty. I thought you'd left me, and it freaked me out. And then, I walk around, and I come back, and you're there. And I said, I saw you come out of the store. You looked right at me. Then you walked around the parking lot and the gas station. You came right back to me, and I was there. I never left. I swore up and down that I had never left. Well, what can you say after that? There's really nothing. I know I didn't leave the spot, and she was convinced that I had disappeared. So what can you conclude on that? I don't know. I'm still wondering myself. So this next account was sent to us by a young lady, and I'm going to go ahead and admit that this would sound a whole lot better if it were told in a female voice. But we go with what we've got, and I'm what we've got. So when listening to this one, understand it's from a woman's perspective. I've shared this story with a few close friends and family members, and the ones I've shared it with, they think I'm nuts. And some even think it's evil, but I just know it was real. And it was beautiful. And it's given me hope beyond measure. I grew up in Trinidad and Tobago, and life after death is not something taken lightly, although we don't really know. Older generations have passed down certain assumptions and beliefs, and one of them is that when humans die, the soul rises after 3 days, just like in the Bible, just like Christ did. And that's when they realize they've transitioned and more than likely are going to find the person they love the most. And for some reason, I've always believed that. I remember when my uncle died. I was 9 at the time, and we had a wake every night until his funeral on the 3rd day of celebrating his life. The energy was so weird. Like I could literally feel him, but I didn't know how to articulate that at the time, or even how to process it. Anyway, I started dating who was going to be the love of my life when I was about 18, and this is back in 2004. So when I was 21 in 2007, I moved to South Carolina in the States. The 3 years we spent together were nothing short of amazing. We didn't really have a plan as far as how we were going to be together, but breaking up was not an option. And so I went to visit back home in 2011, and it was amazing seeing him, and solidifying our connection was stronger than ever. Well, in 2012, he was shot and killed. The date was October 11th, 2012. It was a Thursday evening at about 8 p.m. I can never forget the heartbreak. So that Saturday, the 3rd day, in an attempt to cheer me up, my 2 best friends took me out to dinner. Well, in the middle of that dinner, I felt a sudden urge to just stop eating and just go home. It's like this voice I heard said, put down the fork and get a to-go box. And I'm a believer in following the mind, especially when it was this strong of a feeling. So I did, but also I felt him. I felt his presence. So when I got the urge to leave, I felt him. I told my friends I had to go, and I didn't know why. I just had a feeling. So we all left, and they took me home, and I just took a shower, and I put on some music that I love, but I knew he also loved. And I remember he used to say the music I like is girly, but this particular CD I was playing was the only one he actually liked. I got comfortable, and I got into bed, and I blinked, and I was suddenly in a trance of sorts. I couldn't move or say anything. It felt like I was being controlled, like another entity had occupied my body. Almost like, where you're trying to scream or move, but you can't. Except it wasn't scary. I wasn't being hurt or really trying to scream. I could still see the light from the bedroom behind my eyelids, though. I could hear this particular song playing in the background. I'm conscious, but not conscious, it seemed. And then I felt a hug, like a really big hug, and a simple kiss on the cheek. And then I saw him. Not really, but I did. I just saw a vision of him. My eyes were closed, and I'm just lying there in bed, but I'm seeing him. I'm hearing him. I'm feeling him, and we're standing. Or floating. We're in an abyss. It looks like nighttime almost, but we're levitating. I started to cry, and so was he, apologizing for leaving me. At this point, I'm still in a trance, but I can feel a physical, sad face appear on this person. I assured him it was okay. I saw a memory of a time he and I, along with his mom, went to a comedy show, and we ended up having to all sleep in the same bed. It was hilarious when it initially happened, and it made me laugh. I could, again, feel the smile appear on the face as we both kind of relived that story. It felt like he was saying to remember the good times. He gave me that memory to remember him by. He's laughing too. I remember saying to him, "So this life after death thing is real, huh?" And he replied, "Yes, but I have to go now." And then, I don't know, I kind of woke up. My eyes opened. I had control of myself again, and I was relieved and terrified all at once. It felt like, 10 minutes or so, but it might have lasted 45 seconds or a minute, as the same song was still playing and hadn't gotten very far into it. While it was happening, I remembered feeling really good that he was okay, and we all live again. And when I awoke, I felt terrified that a deceased soul had control of my body. It wasn't a scary experience, but it was still pretty chilling. I still feel him around from time to time, and it's still not scary, but communicating with the dead was definitely strange. This has been another strange but true stories, submitted to us by subscribers and followers of SBT just like you. Let us know what you think of these stories in the comments below, and if you have a strange story you'd like to share with us, send it to us in an email. Strange but true stories 2@gmail.com is the address. We look forward to hearing from you. And we have a new thing. We are doing the Patreon thing now, and if you like what we do and would like to help us out, that'd be great. Any level of contribution is appreciated, but if you sign up at $7 a month, it will unlock some additional stories and maybe some other things that we are still trying to work all the details out about. Thanks to those early adopters who have joined up already, and thanks to all of our subscribers here at SBT and for watching this video. I'm Steve White. Until next time.